Classics are those kind of books which everybody wants to read, everybody wants to talk about, but nobody actually sits down and completes the entire book. Hey you beautiful people, welcome back to a new video on our channel Read Travel Become. In this video, I'm going to suggest very easy classic books to read for beginners. If you want to explore the world of classic literature, the books which have been hailed as classic books of all time, and you always feel that they are either too long or their language is very difficult, you don't know which book to start with, or maybe you just picked up a book and you thought, why the hell is this book a classic if it's so boring, then this video is definitely for you. When it comes to reading classic books, three important things have to be kept in mind. The first is the length of the book. If you are just starting out to read classic books, you shouldn't pick up a book which is like 1,000 pages long. It would suck all the adventure out of you. The next is the language. You should not pick up a book which is written in a Victorian English language or a Shakespearean language like thee, thou, oh, that kind of a language. And the third is you need to understand when was this book written, the time period in which this book was written, and why is it considered a classic. If you keep these three things in mind and you pick up the recommendations which I am sharing in this video, then you would have a wonderful experience reading a classic book and you would exactly understand why a book is known as a classic book. So this video is going to be very useful. Make sure you watch the video till the end. You may never know which thought or fact may resonate with you and change the course of your life. So let's get started. The first book in this list is actually a children's book but hailed as a classic novel. The book is Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. You definitely must have heard of this book, and if you have not read this book, do pick up this book because it's one of those classic quintessential adventure fantasy novel. This book was a source of inspiration for most fantasy novels that we see today. It's about a girl who finds a white rabbit, and through this white rabbit she founds a whole different world when she goes into a tunnel with this rabbit. This is a very classic story you must have known. The characters are very lively. She meets a bunch of animals in this new world, in this fantasy land. They all teach her something. There's a whole lot of adventure regarding Alice, and the whole concept of fantasy comes from this particular book. Very easy to read, extremely beautiful characters. The white rabbit in fact is one of the most popular pop culture symbols. If you see the movie Matrix, even Neo in the first film goes into an adventure land, goes into a matrix with the help of a clue of a white rabbit. For those who have seen the movie would know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's a classic book. If you want to start adventure, if you want to start fantasy in a classical format, then this book is for you. So classical books are basically, you want the best ideas out of a book, you want the best theories out of a book, the main theme of the book, you want to know that out of a classical book. You don't have to remember all of that. And also these days I'm using a new platform to get the best ideas out of a book. The platform is called Shortform. I use it to basically know what the book is about, what are the best ideas of the book. It's basically book summaries on steroids. It's not exactly a book summary, it's chapter wise analysis of what the book is about, what are the best concepts out of that book. Once you know these concepts, then you can make a better decision to decide whether you want to read the book or not. I have been using it and I'm having a wonderful time knowing what the book is about. Not only the ideas from the book, but it also tells you some analysis, some smart commentary on some of the topics that are covered in the book. You too can check out this platform using the link in the description. If you use this link, shortform.com/avdut, you will get a free trial and also an additional 20% off for the yearly plan. Do check it out and let me know in the comments how do you like it. Next on the list is again a very popular classic book. It's called Lord of the Flies. It was written by a British author. This book is a satirical novel on war, basically, like most classic books are, but this book is very different. He took the concept of a very popular classic novel called Coral Island and he just turned it around. This book is about a bunch of British soldiers who are basically boys. They are in the age range of 7 to 13. They all are stranded on an island which looks beautiful. The island has everything. It's got water, trees, fruits, everything. But how when these soldiers, these British soldiers who are supposedly in some nuclear war, their plane crashes and they land on this island, how they talk to each other, how they behave with the inhabitants, and how they follow a system of order, how they follow the hierarchy between people, how do they basically set up a society. The book talks all about that in a very story format. The title Lord of the Flies is again a reference to a demon, which was a demon of pride and war, and these two things are the main themes of the entire book. Very popular book. I had read this book when Sushant Singh Rajput had recommended it on his Twitter, and I still remember that I was horrified by how smartly the writer was affected with the war, and through this story and through this short book, he has explained what he wanted to talk about. It's basically an angry rant about the war, but in a story format. Again, if you like the plot, you can definitely pick up this book. Next on the list is probably the shortest classic novel on this particular list, and you might have read it. It's Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. A very short book, very easy to read, but very heavy if you think about it. It's about a traveling salesman called Gregor Samsa, and one day he wakes up as a cockroach, just thinks himself as a cockroach, is a metaphor on that, and how society treats him now that he has turned into a cockroach. It's a story about a couple of days of how the society is treating him and what internal dialogue is going on between him. Franz Kafka is one of those writers who was just very angry with the world around him. Nothing made sense to him. He was questioning why are people the way they are, and there's a term about it called Kafkaesque, where the society doesn't make meaning, like there is no justice, there is no sense of order in the universe. These kind of books are basically a very strong metaphor for what was going on at that particular point of time. So if you like this particular concept, if you like this theory, then definitely pick up Metamorphosis. It's a very easy introduction to the world of classical literature. Next on the list is again a very popular classic novel, and it has been taught in a lot of schools, especially American schools, for students to think about how rebellions have occurred in history, how people have rebelled against the order, against the empire. This book is Animal Farm by George Orwell. This book talks about a bunch of animals in a farm, and they basically rebel against their farmer who's owning them. This is again a very strong metaphor against the Russian communism which was spreading, and the act of rebellion which was coming into the minds of the Russians and the Soviet Union. It's a very strong commentary on that, but the book is in a very easy language. It does not talk a lot about society or politics. It's just a story about how these animals are headed by a pig called Napoleon, and how these people rebel against the farmer. Entertaining read, gives you a lot of points to think about, and you would definitely understand the significance of why this book was wildly popular during that time and still is popular. I believe it's a timeless book. It cannot be quantified in one particular period of time where it was written, but once you read it, you will understand that yes, this book is a timeless book, and how societies work in general, this book talks about that. Next on the list is, I think, one of my favorite books in this particular list, mostly because it exactly captures the teenage angst when teenagers are bursting with hormones, and they want to explore the world, they want to fight with everyone, they want to be a rebel, and they want to do these million things. They have their dreams, they have their problems, and the problems that they have seem huge at that point of time, but when you grow up, when you look back, you feel, oh, these problems, why did I think that these problems were huge? These kind of teenage problems. This book is called The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. It's about a boy who is a teenager. He goes to New York. He has a lot of angst inside him. He's trying to figure out the world. He's trying to figure out himself. It's a story about him. Interesting characters again, and very easily written. It's a short book again, but again, it talked about a lot of teenage problems when it was written. So yeah, if you like this kind of a world building, if you are a teenager especially, give it a read. You would find it relatable in lots of points, and in lots of pages you will find yourself through the eyes of the character. So yeah, J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. Next is again a existential novel, but written in a very small format. The novel is The Stranger by Albert Camus, one of the most beautiful philosophers of his time. When I say philosopher, he is not that conventional philosopher who would tell you about how to get things in life, how to work hard for your dreams and the basic philosophy. His philosophy is exactly opposite. His philosophy is just an act of letting go, being devoid of all the emotions. Nothing makes sense in this world. It's a very cruel form of a philosophy, but if you think about it, it gives you freedom in a world which is devoid of any meaning. He talks about how there is no meaning in life. Ultimately everybody has to die one day, and then what's the point of stressing so much about these little emotions? It gives you a lot to think about. Basically, this novel is about a central character whose mother has just died, and somehow he's not feeling anything about her, and then he's just doing random things and not feeling anything about it. He also kills a person. He shoots him first, and he pauses, and then shoots 4 more bullets into the person, and he is convicted for the 4 bullets that he has shot in. Now during the trial, all of this conversation happens. Religious people talk to him, the court talks to him, the sense of justice talk to him. Everything together is a dialogue about existentialism. So it sounds very heavy, mind you, but the book is very easy to read. It's just a story, it's a bunch of characters, but it is one of those books which has a lot of hidden meanings, and it will be a good introduction to the world of literature, because when you pick up like heavy literature which Charles Dickens has written, like A Tale of Two Cities Christie's, A Count of Monte Cristo, I consider them to be like a little dense literature because first they are very, very long, and secondly they have a lot of metaphors within them. So to grasp these books, if you want to someday read those kind of books, these books would be great starters, like palate cleansers for you to get accustomed to the world of classical literature. And the last on the list is again a very popular classic novel which I have recommended personally many times before on this channel. The book is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. If you are a reader, if you understand the importance of libraries, understand the importance of literature in general, then you should read this book. This book is set in a time period when a bunch of firemen were tasked with just burning off books, burning off literature, because they didn't want people to learn from books and become and start thinking and rebel against the empire. So there's one particular fireman. This book is about one particular fireman who thinks about this, whose consciousness is tainted with the fact that he is burning down all of these ideas, all of these theories, all of this knowledge. It hits his conscious and he starts protecting all of these scriptures, all of these books. So this story is all about that. Again, very easy to read and a powerful message. So if you are remotely interested in learning how literature plays an important part in the development of society, then yes, definitely you should read this book. You must have noticed how all of these books generally talk a lot about society, and this is one of the reasons that these books are called classical books, because these books have been beacons of hope for people who were actually going through a lot of stress due to the society. That's why these books are considered classics. So putting yourself into those shoes, putting yourself into the shoes of the character and looking the world through the eyes of those characters definitely gives a perspective, and this is why classical books are very, very important to read. Yes, some of them are boring and some of them are irrelevant to you because we live in a wildly different world, and if you want to just know about history in general, you can know about it, but it's just the reading of the book through the plot, reading of the book through the characters is what fascinates me. So if you want to read classical literature, make sure you do a lot of your homework. You understand why this book was written, you understand when this book was written, what the characters are. Doing a pre-study really helps. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching the video till here. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and yeah, that's all for this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.